Welcome everyone to the Switch eDU Online Open Day. The purpose of our Open Day tonight is that we wanted to create an opportunity for you to find out more about who we are and for us to answer any questions that you may have. Here's a quick line of the program of our session today. Firstly, we're going to start with an introduction by Sue Hodson, who's the academic trainer and teacher. It will be followed by guest speaker Jamal Brathwaite, founder and CEO Job Seekers UK, who will be talking about the future of work. And then we'll have an overview of Switch eDU Online, presented by both Sue Hodson, our academic trainer and teacher, and Lutfia Yunus, who's the curriculum and instructional designer. And then we'll have a quick short segment on the learner management system. And then lastly, we'll have our Q&A segment later on. So before we get started, please feel free to send through your questions as the evening progresses. So all you have to do is really simply click on the Q&A box on your control panel on the bottom left to send through your questions, which will be addressed during the Q&A segment later. And now to take us through this evening's program, Sue Hodson, over to you.
Hello everyone, welcome to our evening, our open day as we're calling it. It is really lovely to have you here. We appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to join us. We know how busy you are, and so we promise to keep this session to under an hour to enable you to get back to your lovely supper. Just before we get going, I'd like to acknowledge the rest of the team. There is Peter, the operations director, Fidi, who is sales and marketing, Paul in the IT department, and Sonia, who runs the admin office, which we call the engine of the school. Our first item was going to be Jamal Brathwaite, the founder and CEO of Job Seekers UK. Unfortunately, he has got stuck on an aeroplane and his plane hasn't landed yet. So he really is hoping to join us at the end of our session, and we'll keep you posted. Otherwise, I'm sure we'll be able to get him to record his insights and pass them on to us at a later date. Before I continue with Switch eDU Online information, I'd like to just tell you a little about myself. My journey began about 37 years ago when I first trained as an educator. And since then, I have qualified as a drama specialist, a dance examiner, and I'm currently doing my master's in emotional intelligence through the University of the Witwatersrand. I'm a passionate educator, and I believe very much in developing the emotional intelligence of both teachers and learners in order to strengthen resilience and empathy, both of which are really needed, especially in the light of COVID. I also believe in real life learning, and if that's what you're interested in for your child, then Switch is the school for you. Life today is all about change, and COVID has taught us that. We need to rethink learning, and we need to change our way of thinking about education from the old to the new, because there has been a complete paradigm shift across every aspect of society. And we are realizing more and more that we need to be adaptable and be prepared for constant change. The inspiration behind the school rests on 4 pillars. The first being real life learning. We can all agree that usually school hasn't exactly prepared us for life beyond school years. Our education wants to be relevant and needs to be relevant today to day-to-day life and beyond school years. We also want to make quality education accessible. High private school fees are unsustainable in our current economic climate, and yet the market demand for affordable, good education is high. We want our children to be safe. We want their education to be delay-free. We want them focused on learning with no disruptions. And online learning seems to be the catalyst for adapting learning in a rapidly changing world. It is also the growth of the online learning sector globally reflects the future of learning. Our mission is to create the type of environment that will transform learning to meet the future. It will integrate real-life learning, enhance personal development skills, and equip learners to engage fully as members of the global community. To that end, our teachers' instruction will be fun, engaging, informal, accessible, informative, supportive, and practical. We will still continue to use the normal phases and grades based on the values that we have. We have a set of core values that underpin the vision of Switch Edu Online. These are personal development, forward thinking, and global outlook. Lithia Eunice will continue with expanding on those values for you a little while later in the presentation. For now though, let's have a look at some phases and the grades and when we plan to start. So we're planning to start launching in term 3, which is July of this year, 2021, and we will be launching foundation phase, intermediate phase, and senior grade. Grade 9 will be launching in 2022, and the FET grades 10 to 12 will launch in 2023. If you're concerned about moving your child in the middle of the year, please don't be, because moving mid-year became commonplace last year, especially due to COVID. And we will also be able to, our teachers will be trained to take your child through a process which will ensure continuity. I'd like to pass you over now onto Lithia Eunice, who is our instructional designer. Over to you, Lithia. You're going to take us through a more detailed account.
Thank you so much, Sue. I'd like to say good evening to all the parents and people that are attending. My name is Lithia and I'm a teacher as well as an instructional designer. As a teacher, I have journeyed over the past few years into the online education space, and I currently develop curriculum for online schools. Let's take a look at the curriculum of Switch Edu Online. So our curriculum has been carefully crafted to extend beyond the basic DBE approved subjects. Instead of simply covering the curriculum, we want to enhance the learner's individual personal development, as well as broaden their perspective of the world that we live in. The subject selection and courses allows learners to develop a foundational skill set, which they can utilize later in their daily lives or through their chosen career paths. The learner goes through the schooling process in order to matriculate. As a result of that, they have a range of expectations from the school experience as they enter an increasingly global economy. They are required to select between two paths after their schooling career, and that is either finding employment or furthering their studies. Meet Generation Alpha. Our kids' first babysitters were iPads. Millennials are considered digital natives, but alphas take it to the next level. Technology is not just a toy anymore or a distraction, but a way of living, connecting and learning. We need to look at technology as a guide and a primary form of learning. Our learners today expect meaning and purpose in their learning and expect hands-on instead of didactic or teacher-directed experiences in the classrooms of today. For this generation, it is the experience and action that leads to learning, not just one-way instruction and an offloading of information given by the teacher, which we are all familiar with. Learners need experiential learning in order to connect. The teaching method and style that we use at Switch eDU Online is a combination of synchronous, 60% of our teaching, and asynchronous, which is 40% of the teaching method and style. Most classes will be teacher-led and taught through live online lessons. Learners will have the opportunity to interact and ask questions as they are guided through collaborative activities and tasks. On the other hand, the rest of the time will be spent in asynchronous activities in order to complement the synchronous learning approach. This includes tools that are learner-centered, such as hands-on activities and independent learning. Let's keep in mind that our class sizes will not exceed 30. This will ensure that the teacher can give support to every learner, similar to the setting that we see in a private school. I'd like to take a look at the typical school day. Just keep in mind that learners will be, in a weekly schedule where they will attend classes similar to timetables of a normal school. The following are our learning objectives at Switch eDU Online. To teach and prepare learners academically to excel within the CAPS curriculum framework. For learners to develop skills that they can use daily or take with them through their post-school years, either through tertiary education or their chosen career path. To encourage independent and experience-based learning beyond the classroom, be it in the home, socially, or in an outdoor environment, in order to encourage active learning that stimulates the mind, the body, and the soul. To delegate real-life or simulated tasks that provide the learner with opportunities to connect directly with the world to make the learning process relevant and meaningful. Here at Switch eDU Online, our educators are focused on creating the best real-life learning experiences for our learners. In order to do this, we are guided by 3 teaching pillars that I would like to discuss, and this is what Sue touched on as well. These are personal development, forward thinking, and having a global outlook. Let's take a closer look at some of these. In terms of personal development, our aim is to foster personal and individual development, using techniques to help learners, to allow opportunities for growth, and to become well-rounded individuals with practical life and self-knowledge skills. These include how to communicate effectively, personal responsibility, building self-esteem and confidence, etiquette and consideration for others, emotional intelligence, personality development, and managing conflict. Our next aim is to develop forward thinking. Learners will be able to think beyond the present and start to think about their future. The various focus areas will include fostering their curiosity through questioning, using their imagination to think out of the box, nurturing their ability to be creators and doers, being able to understand the importance of goal setting, scenario planning, and finally, enhancing their creative minds through the arts and storytelling. The last teaching pillar is encouraging the idea of a global outlook. Children are growing up in a world that's so increasingly connected. We want to equip learners to be prepared for the global environment in which they will one day work or do business in. As teachers, we will provide experiences that recognize the importance of looking beyond South African borders and the confinements of what we know, and broaden their perspective on international aspects. Switch eDU teachers are diverse and are from different backgrounds in South Africa and around the world. Our lesson offerings will incorporate a variety of international languages as well. Moving on to our curriculum. Switch eDU Online aligns with the SA CAPS curriculum. The list you see are the different subjects offered in each grade in the foundation, intermediate, and senior phases. These subjects are exactly the same that are covered in mainstream schools in South Africa. We have also included tailored subjects to develop foundational skill sets which learners can utilize in their daily lives or in the post-school years. In the foundation phase, we have chess for beginners. In the intermediate phase, learners will learn how to build confidence. And finally, in the senior phase, learners will explore and delve into the world of digital technology. Let's take a closer look at each one. Chess is a fun way to enhance important skills that can be applied to a huge variety of real-life situations and improves their overall cognitive brain function. These benefits gained through the game include thinking rationally, problem solving, creative thinking, and improved memory, as well as analytical power. Digital technologies are becoming increasingly important in everyday life as they rapidly change the way we live, communicate, share information, learn, and work. From virtual reality to AI, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, and big data, these technologies are what we rely on to enhance our lives and make us more efficient. It is important for learners to understand how these technologies will continue to impact and shape our world. And lastly, How to Build Confidence is a course that nurtures confidence building skills that will ensure that learners are better equipped to deal with responsibility, frustrations, challenges, both positive and negative emotions, and to make good decisions today or later in their adult life. As teachers, we find that this skill is lacking in the early years due to learners not being exposed and trained in confidence building. It is our aim to instill this confidence in our learners across all grades. I'd like to now touch on the on-demand courses that we will offer. These are optional courses that learners may take. They run for a duration of 10 weeks in total and are an additional cost to the school fees. These on-demand courses will provide exposure to additional expansive subjects based on values, and they offer a peek into available career paths that could be followed later on in their lives. The international languages courses include French, Mandarin, German, and Swahili for beginners, keeping in mind that these are targeted at two specific age groups, these being the 7 to 10-year-olds and the 11 to 14-year-olds. At Switch eDU Online, we also offer other courses. However, these will only be available from the new year. Courses such as Business and Finance will cover how to start an online business and what that entails, money and investments for the future. Courses in Digital Technology explores drones in businesses as well as the Internet of Things. Trade courses looks at culinary arts, things like plumbing and carpentry. And then we have some general courses which will teach learners how to solve and resolve conflict about their bodies, good nutrition, and health. And that is all for me. Thank you for being such a great audience. I will be back at the end of the presentation for the Q&A. I would now like to hand over back to Sue.
Thanks, Lucia. Those are great. We would like to talk to you a little about our teachers, who are the backbone of the system. These teachers are not just experienced, they're also passionate. They are well trained in online education, and training courses are going to be conducted through coaching, mentoring, weekly development courses. These will be ongoing to ensure that our teachers maintain a high standard of educating your children. They are skilled at adapting to the students' various learning styles, and they are teachers who really want to make a difference. Our promise to you at Switch eDU Online is this: that we aim to expose learners to new ideas. We promise to have their minds stimulated, their intellectual curiosity fostered, and their creativity nurtured. We promise to provide learners with the best possible chance to reach their full potential as broad, conscientious, global thinkers, to equip them to have the best start in life. I would like to share a video which takes you through our world-class learner management system called Cluster.
Switch eDU Online has in place a world-class learner management system called Cluster, and it's used by over 500 institutions in more than 25 countries around the world. The personalized portals provide each user with valuable information that is relevant to him or her. The Learners Portal, for example, allows them to keep track of their academic performance, calendar of events, teaching schedules, amongst other things. Parents can also follow their children's schedule and general academic performance, or stay in contact with teachers and administrator by communicating via the message center. Teachers can upload tasks, homework or lesson plans, tests, and quizzes for learners to access and complete. Let's hear what parents have to say.
Education safety is very important for my kids.
The onset of COVID-19 at the beginning of 2020 was extremely worrying for me because I feared for the safety of my children and exposure at school.
And that's the reason why I signed up for Switch. It's school uninterrupted.
It proved to be a fantastic option that worked for me and for the children.
So, future of education, going to school in school uniforms, it's not going to be around for much longer. So we need to prepare.
It's time to rethink learning.
Thank you. I'm very excited about the learning management system. One of the features that really does excite me, both as a teacher but more as a parent, is the ability at the click of a switch to get a general idea of my child's performance. Those of you who have tried to get all your child's teachers together in one meeting will understand how difficult that can be. At Switch, it's a click away. We would like to take you through the very easy enrollment process, which means going to our website, completing the short enrollment form, and attaching a previous school grade report, a parent or guardian's ID, and a learner photo. You will then make payment and then go through the teacher and learner introduction, as well as the learner management system orientation session. For those of you who have just arrived, if you have just arrived, please continue to stay with us until the end. We will be offering a bursary to one lucky guest, and this bursary will be drawn in a special draw at the end of the month, and you will be informed about whether you've won it or not. It's a very exciting opportunity, so yes, stay with us. We are also very excited about the Switched Ed Online community. These are podcasts which we are putting together about empowering and informative topics for both teachers, parents, and learners. For example, one of our topics is the future of work. The other topic could be the importance of emotional intelligence in teaching and in learner development. So keep an eye open for the new developments in the Switched community. And also please remember that this webinar is being recorded, so you will have access to it after the session. And now it's time to go through to your questions. And to the rest of the team, please feel free to jump in where necessary and make comments where you wish. The Q&A section, let's see if we have some questions coming up. Looking here.
So, if I may just add something.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think that at the moment we have no questions. Just wanted to add that point about the discount for the July fees. So some of the people that might be here through the sales consultants. So with the general 30% discount that does exist for the July fees, I wanted just to emphasize the fact that there is a 50% discount that applies for all the attendees, especially those that have made it thus far in the presentation. So those that came via the sales consultants, they must use their codes to claim that discount. This is over and above the bursary that you mentioned, Sue, which is an opportunity. If you enroll now, you're liable for the 50% discount for July fees only. And as we can see, we've got the fees displayed up on screen at the moment in terms of the grades from grade R to foundation phase, including the senior phase displayed there. So I just wanted to quickly add that with regards to the fees and the discount.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Peter. It doesn't look as though there are any questions that have come up so far. Please remember that if you do have questions, you can email us at any time at hello@switcheduonline and ask your question, and one of us will get back to you with that. So remember your 50% off July fees only. And on behalf of the Switch Edu Online team, I'd like to say that it's been a real pleasure being with you. We appreciate you taking the time to join us, and we'd like to wish you good night.